Hey YouTube, this is my 2023 Toyota RAV4 XLE. This is a non-JBL system, and I wanted to show you guys on how I hooked up my subwoofer with a mono amplifier. And there aren't many videos out there on how to do that specific one. There's more of some 4-channel amplifiers, but I wanted to show you guys what I did and how it works for me. I also wanted to point out that this RAV4 is a non-JBL system. It only has the basic sound system, and I just want to show you how I go about that. So here's my power cable, ran it under there, and comes out here. I kind of put a little zip tie to hold it here for now. And yeah, so here's where I ran it through, and I had to cut this grommet, and that was really hard to cut that off. So this is a 4-gauge wire. It really snug in there, so I had to put some soapy water, and just kind of run it throughout almost the whole cable just to fit in there, because it is really tight. But yeah, I got it. Don't be afraid if this kind of comes loose. You can kind of just run it back in this place. It's a little tricky. It's really tight in there, but with patience and struggle, I cut myself a few times, but it works. So the power wire is right there. Well, I'm running it through behind this kick panel, but this is where it came through the engine bay. You can see the grommet up there, maybe. I don't know if you come in right there. You can see the grommet of where it's coming out of, and you gotta pull back the carpet. It's already it's got a cut there, so you can just kind of pull it back. I didn't cut it; it came that way. So that's how you get it through, and it comes through there, through this kick panel, and then I have it going under the seat right here, and then under the carpet. I'm still waiting on the enclosure for this RAV4. I found a SCAR audio that should fit right through here, so we'll see how that goes. But here's my equipment. So I already put the power wire. I don't have it here, and this is the ground. So this is all you're going to need. That's the ground. We'll run that to the amplifier. I'm gonna have to find a ground somewhere. I think the seat belts might have a decent ground. I'll have to check with a voltmeter. This is my speaker cable. Since I'm gonna run these RCA cables to the front, so I don't need these as much as I need this. I'm gonna have to run this from the trunk here, connected to this RCA input, and I'm gonna run that on the other side to the driver's seat, and then behind the stereo. Now the stock stereo doesn't have RCA outputs, so to fix that I bought this, so don't pay attention to this cable, but I bought this cable off of a Red Wolf. I think it was on Amazon, and all it does is just an extension. This plugs into the back of your stereo for your speakers, and then the regular harness that would go back to the stereo goes right here. So this is just an extension, and I only got this so I can tap onto these wires, and these would just be the rear speakers, 2 rear speakers. The purple I think is for the left, or which ones, both the rear speakers right here. And this is nice because on this harness, I don't know if we can see it, but it does right on here. It says it on here if it's where the speaker, where the wire leads to. See, that one says right front positive. So I tapped onto these, and I bought this. Now this is this. It's a kicker wire to RCA adapter. Since we don't have RCA cables, we'll have to use this to make it to mimic the RCA output. Okay, it's just going to take the signal from the rear speakers of your car, and then we're going to run it to these are going to be the outputs. Okay, so we can use that. We'll plug that here, and that will go to the amplifier. Now, I also, this RCA adapter thing is pretty neat because well, it's not neat, but it is very nifty, and they come with positive and negative also. So there's like a solid white and striped. So I didn't know which one was negative or not, so I just kind of copied whichever ones had the stripes on here. I think this one is a black stripe right here. Yeah, purple black stripe. So I matched that with the black stripe gray, and we're gonna see how that goes, but that should work. Now, an issue with this is, well, I'll go into that in a minute, but I'm gonna put this behind the stereo and run this to the back, to the front. Okay, and I don't have, this is my subwoofer. This is an old subwoofer I have. This is rated at 600 RMS, and this is rated maximum 500. So I know this is risky, but this is an old subwoofer, so we'll see. I'll just kind of watch the gains on this. All right, and I'm going to be running this RCA cable from the back of the stereo, connected to this end of the RCA cable, and then I'm going to be running it back here under, and then hopefully under the passenger seat, and that's where I plan on installing the amplifier. All right, to access the back of the stereo, I'm gonna have to remove a panel, this plastic cover back here. Okay, and I'll usually use some of these. I got this from this company, Live T. It's pretty good. They have a bunch of different sizes. So yeah, let me pop this out, and we can start working from here. Okay. Let me do this off camera. All right, I popped it off, and gotta keep popping each. There's clips on all of them here. I might just do it with my fingers now. Okay, there he goes. Okay, there it goes. And there you go. So that just pops right off. It's a bunch of clips on here. It's pretty easy to remove and to take off. I'm just doing it with the camera, so you can imagine it's a little harder. All right, so once you remove that bracket, that cover, it reveals these 10mm bolts. That's what's holding in the stereo. So we'll remove those, and I'll show you the back of it. All right, once you have the bolts removed, I already kind of loosened it. I pulled on it with both hands, and it should just come out. It holds by it with a few clips, so it'll need to be popped out. Here's the clips here. Here's some clips here, and here are all the wires exposed. All right, I plugged in the cable. I had to unplug it. It has this little tab on top that you push down here, and it loosens it. It's a little tricky, but you can get it off. Then you'll just replace this harness I showed you earlier, and put the original cables in back in the stereo and back here, and click right in there. And here are the RCA cables. I had tapped into those rear cables, and that's where we're going to get these RCA cables to run from here to under the passenger seat. So we're going to get started on that. All right, to remove, we have this removed. We put the cables in here, so now we got to remove, kind of just to open it up so we can easily fish these cables, these RCA cables under. So I kind of already loosened everything. So this part you just kind of pull down and it'll come loose. Then to remove this shifter knob, there is this metal clip. Maybe use like a screwdriver to just kind of pop it loose, pop it forward. There it is. And so I did that, removed that. Drop it in here. Just looks like that. And then this will just come loose. Okay. I'll set this up here, and the clip up here so they stay together. And then to remove this, I fit this little prying tool in here and just kind of use my hands to help prop it up, and it's popping up kind of with a little persuasion. I got this side loose. Let me get this side loose. There it goes. It pops up. All right, so now we have this exposed. So that should help get the RCA cables to the back from the to the center. So I'll show you in the next video once I get it through. All right, I'm on the driver's side now, and I fed that RCA cable. So I plugged it into the RCA, I guess, line outputs that I have set up here, and I ran this one here all the way back there. I kind of had to fish them up in that corner and just kind of pushed as much as I could into there, and then I got it to kind of come out through this way, so that kind of worked out. So now I'm gonna see if I can get that through here, and that's gonna be my I'm gonna take a quick pause here and pull it through this center console. All right, I got it pulled through. I can kind of slide through. Now the part about I'm gonna have to run this RCA into the passenger seat. So I'm gonna have to find a way to get this fished maybe under this shifter if there's room, and maybe, and then I'll try to catch it on the other side, and we'll try to maybe run it under the carpet if I can, and we'll go from there. All right, so it's a little hard to get that cable through this carpet. I thought I could kind of do it without removing the seat, but I'm gonna have to do that. So I'll move this seat, and hopefully I have better access to try to get this RCA cable under the carpet and then through this hole here. It's a little bit distance. It looks like there's already a cut here or something. So I might, hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm gonna try this out. All right, it took me a little struggle, but I got it from in here, and then I fished it through in front here under this carpet. And this carpet just kind of pulls back, like all the way back. And I fit my whole arm through this hole, and I was able to kind of catch it and fish it through. So there it is. So now I have to pull the power wire also that's under here that I originally run all the way to the back, and we'll get it through here. So here's my power wire. I had initially running all the way to the back, but I fished it through under the carpet and out under that cut. All right, so I couldn't find the ground anywhere under here, so I went and did some extensive disassembly, and I took this entire center console off. It looks intimidating, but it really is just a few bolts. There were other sites that could help, so there, videos, but there are 4 bolts here that would hold it down, then another bolt here, and well, there's they're down here. I don't know if you can see it right here. Okay, and another one down here, and they'll latch on to here and here. And so I just shifted this backwards a little bit, and it exposed a ground wire, which I know works. I checked it. I don't think I need to grind it down any. So you pull this carpet back a little, and this one right here. So I'm gonna put this short ground wire that was supplied in the kit, run it from there under the carpet, and should be done. Right, I got the ground on there. I just want to point out also, when you're going to reassemble this, I'm kind of running through a small issue, is that the vent that goes to the rear, the back seats, it's not really, it needs to be properly lined up, because I can feel this getting cold like right here. So I kind of passed my hand under here and just kind of felt it, and it is not properly lined up. So just make sure that when you reassemble it, just make sure you take a quick look and make sure that right around here it connects from the front to the back. It just connects right around here. So I'm gonna take a look and make sure it's lined up. Yeah, here's what I'm talking about. Right here, make sure it's lined up. I didn't really have it lined up, and that kind of caused the issue with the air going to the back. So I wanted to be a little more clear about where each bolts go for getting the center console in place. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. So here's one here, there. They're 10 millimeter bolts. One here, and then one here, right there. And then also inside of the center console storage, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, all 10 millimeter bolts. Once you get all of these 7 bolted in, that's what's keeping your center console in place. But yeah, again, make sure you get this hose or pipe lined up back with this piece here, because that's what connects it to the back. And there's another one back here and all the way in the back, but that connects, but it's not that big of a deal, I think. I got that one nicely on there. But yeah, just make sure that that is lined up when you put the center console back in place. Yeah. All right, I put everything back together. It was a little, took a minute to get it all nice and snug in there. And then put the seat back on, and I just kind of fixed up the wires, and I plugged them up to the corresponding terminals, hopefully. Yeah, ground and battery, and nothing for the remote, because this has a DC input for the highs, which is the speakers that I'm using here. And remember, these are connected to the back of the head unit with the to the rear speakers, and that's running all the way to here. It goes in, and I have it set to DC high input. I have all the gains set to low. Oh wait, one more. This one here, I don't have it set to low. I'm just gonna, I have a screwdriver here somewhere, but all right, I'll set all these to low, and I'm gonna get this subwoofer assembled. Sorry, this is out of focus. Also, I wanted to explain the amplifier I purchased. This is the Alpine, sorry for the glare here, the S2A60M. It's a one-channel amplifier, which is a mono amplifier, and it's more of a modern kind of an amplifier for cars like the RAV4 that stops the engine when you come to a light or to a stop sign. And the older amplifiers will give you an error or like a power issue. It'll go in some kind of protection mode. And this amplifier has that capability to, I guess, adapt to that. And so I'm just going to explain here. Here is the wiring that I chose, why I chose this amplifier, and I chose this option here. And it explains that if you have a regular head unit, a stock head unit in this case, and you want to use the speaker wires to turn on the amplifier, which is the rear speakers, whenever you turn on the music, it'll pick up the signal and it'll turn on the amplifier. This is the option that I'm using, which is I'm using the RCA conversion cable sold separately to high, set to high turn on type DC. So yeah, I set it to this this switch right here to the left, which is the DC turn on high input. And then the other ones are if you have a line output converter and with a remote wire, which is not my case, you can do that to a stock head unit. It's a little more expensive, so I just went the cheap way and do it this way. And this is if you have a aftermarket radio where you have RCA outputs on the back of your aftermarket stereo. So here's what I chose. The older amplifiers don't really have this option, so that's why I chose this. Okay, I went with a SCAR audio enclosure. I've used their products before. I wasn't too happy for the speakers, but we'll see how the enclosure goes. It's just supposed to be vehicle specific for this RAV4, so let's take a look. All right, here is the enclosure. It's a lot lighter than I expected. It's just, I guess it's made of fiberglass, but it's supposed to fit right in here. Well, I gotta take this thing off here. And it should fit in there. Let's see. It's pretty cool. All right, good news, fits. So now I just gotta get it, I guess, screwed in. Actually, well, I gotta get the wires plugged into the back, and we'll get this thing installed. Okay, so here's the problem. This is, and I heard this was gonna be, this has been a complaint for most RAV4 owners. Getting this enclosure, it's supposed to clamp onto, it's supposed to bolt onto one of these latches, one of those latches like that over here. So I removed it and I tried to put it in place, but it sits a little too high. So the final result is this mounted there. There's adhesive that comes with this behind here. It'll stick there. And then you gotta bolt it. It's too dark to show, but there's a bolt here. Let me light it up. There's a bolt there. That's really hard to get it to fit there. I used a 2x4 to kind of just push that down, and then put it here on this side to kind of just push this whole thing down while I can torque it down. And yeah, it's really snug in there. It's really tight, and it fits nicely. I run the speaker cable under this enclosure, under this panel there, under the seat. I didn't want to take a video of that because just there's no real need for explanation how to tuck it all in there. Then I run it under the seat. So I got a kid seat there. Under that seat here, under this panel, door panel thing, and there's the amplifier. I have it sitting there. It almost touches these wires, but the seat moves freely. It's really close, but it does move freely. And there are my RCA cables. I'm gonna install a remote wire. I also wanted to show you how I prepared my power wires for the terminals for the amplifier. I'm using these like heat shrink covers and this metal thing is called like a ferrule, just to keep the wires clean when I put them at the terminals for the amplifier. Instead of just torquing it down and squeezing the wires in those terminals here, it's gonna get messy. So here's what I'm doing, and this is what I have. It's just a heat shrink tube kit, and this I both got them from Amazon. And those ferrules, they'll just go on top of the metal, on top of the wires that I just stripped out, and then I'm just going to use this heat shrink to clean it up. Alright, I use a heat shrink, and yeah, it looks pretty clean. I'm going to put them on there. And here's how it looks. I wanted to make it look a little cleaner, so yeah. There's the amp, and I want to just show you the how I can move it back and forth, and it's not touching. I can't really hold the light while I do it, but see, it's not touching it, so it's clear. And here's the cover for the amp, just to cover the wires, a little added protection. Yeah. And here's the bass knob that I went with. It should match up with the Alpine amplifier I have. At least that's what it says on the manual. This is the one I should be using. Some of the amps do come with it. In this case, this one also has a package that comes with it, but I didn't get it. So here it is. It includes the knob and the cable in the back. And yeah, let's hook it up. Okay, so here's the bass knob. It's not really clean right now, just for the purposes of just testing it out. I already tested it out, but just want to start show you. I have the radio on here. Let's turn a little louder with some rap on here. Turn it all the way up. Yeah, so it's definitely working. It's pretty cool. Kind of like turn it off. There you go. All right, I have it all closed up, and here's the bass knob. I don't have it on here yet. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna have a Velcro sticker, double-sided sticker type thing, just sit there, and the wire is kind of exposed here from under to there. I didn't want to really do any drilling. I can't think of any other option. I want it really close to my hand, where my hand's gonna be sitting. So I think this, for me, is gonna be comfortable. So I don't want it there, and hopefully, I don't think it's gonna be in the way of the seat moving back and forth. All right, and that's it. I'm very happy with the result and how it sounds. I know this video was really shaky, so sorry for that. I'm trying to do the best I can doing this by myself. If you have any questions, send me a comment. I'll see if I can help out. But yeah, very happy with it. Thanks for watching.